My name is Lee, and this is the usual scene. And I think I'm kind of liking my new setup. So I have given myself a Valentine's Day gift. Yeah, it's a very good excuse to give myself a Valentine's Day gift. I got this microphone from Fantech, which is a Leviosa, and their webcam too, which is a Luminous C30. I will be making a review video of all the Fantech things that I have. It's not a sponsored video. This is not a sponsored video. But Fantech, if you want to sponsor, I would love that. Why not? So right now I am using their keyboard, which is a Fighter 2 full size, the Crypto mouse, this Van mouse pad, and the solar headset. And the first time that I ordered from them, they also sent me this really nice tumbler, which just says "Gear up and win," and I feel like I've all been geared up and winning. So from the last video, we said that we're giving out the doilies or three doilies to whoever commented, and it was supposed to be a raffle, but we have four people who commented on that video, and I am giving them a doily each, right? And since Sarah made it a point to say that she really wanted one, she's gonna get the biggest one, which would have like some heart patterns over there, which is really good for Valentine's Day. And X printer. When you're here in the Philippines, you can get your doily from me. And this one is for Miss Panda. All right. So those are just three. Lee, where's the other one and who is it for? Now, this is the last one, which is an Afghan star that I've made. And it will be for our guest next week for our first FB Live. If you haven't liked the page, which is the usual scene, I will link it down below and like it so you can watch us next week. So we will be on air at 10 a.m. with our special guest, and we will be talking about authenticity and vulnerability, how they go hand in hand. And our guest would also be singing for us. So if you have any requests, please put them on the comments section down below. Let's see if she can sing it for us. It will be morning of fun. Now, if you wish to appear on the channel as a guest or for an interview, may it be live or recorded, please do let me know by sending me an email at leenotegami@gmail.com. Together with this particular doily, she would also be receiving a gift pack from me, which is a plant 1 month from now. And since I really like oil burners and an oil burner, see, I live between places where you can easily get these things. Also, if you are interested in becoming a guest, you're gonna get the Lee curated decorations. Of course, I will make the doily for you for your plant and oil burner or vase or whatever I have at that moment. Now, if you have a story to tell or to share a lesson learned, may it be happy or sad or dramatic, maybe you just really want to share or you want to hear about what we think about it, please do write me an email at leenotegami@gmail.com, and please be anonymous if you're sharing. And if your story has been picked or if your email had been picked, of course, you are also entitled to getting the Lee curated package. And I will be sending it out to you as well after I get your information. So, again, both for the guest and for the sharer, you can send your emails to leenotegami@gmail.com. Okay, it's Valentine's Day. That's why we have this background music because it's Valentine's Day. I'm not a very mushy person, so I'm really sorry you're not going to get a lot from me today. I scratched my brain to give you more quotes that I would want to share for Valentine's Day. But anyway, there are three quotes that I have gotten, and we can discuss them a little bit of why I think it's something that I want to share for Valentine's Day. So here we start. The first verse is from a song called The Roads Untaken by Stephen Schwartz. I believe that this song had been sung in a Broadway musical. Um, if you're familiar with the Broadway musical Wicked, then you are familiar with the genius of Stephen Schwartz, and you probably know how his lyrics would go. They're really self reflective. And so the first quote that I would want to share from you is from this song. It reads, "The roads untaken are the roads that haunt. Chances forsaken are the choices I regret. And in the end, I guess, do what we want. But the things that never happened are the hardest to forget." So that's where I got that line, that the things that never happened are the hardest to forget, which is really true. Sometimes we have all of these unrealistic expectations from the people that we have in our lives. And if something goes against what we have expected, it frustrates us, it hurts us, and we project that as a pain caused by the other person. But in reality, it's a pain that we have inflicted in ourselves because of all of these unrealistic expectations. Have you ever had that moment when you met somebody and it seems like your whole life has flashed before you because you now are creating plans in your head with this person, and then suddenly the person goes away? May it be a romantic partnership or relationship or maybe a friend, and this person just goes away. It's really hard to move forward because you have so many things planned and you have so many expectations in your head that were never fulfilled. So you will get to think about them again and again, and that would start your rumination. The whole verse is basically that. The roads untaken are the roads that haunt because you will be thinking about them again and again. And chances forsaken are the choices I regret because, again, it will stay in your head and you will have a lot of what ifs. But I'm not a person who lives in what ifs. So if there's something that I do differently with this verse, it's the part that I have to regret. I will do everything in my power not to regret, even if I look crazy, even if that person would say that I am going after him or her. It doesn't matter because I have to do what I have to do and I have to know what the result is. Um, so I don't have to regret it. But it doesn't mean that I don't have unfulfilled dreams and expectations with that person. I would still have that, but it's easier to get over with because, I did my best to make them stay. Or maybe that's all because I have abandonment anxiety. So, yeah, let's move on to the next line. Now, I wouldn't really call these quotes as very romantic because not all of them are very romantic. Maybe the last one is, but the second one is from a series that I don't think you would even find romantic. It's from Criminal Minds. It's from the episode called Zugzwang, which I think is checkmate in German, if I am not mistaken. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And I believe that in the Queen's Gambit, that same word had been used a couple of times, or at least two times in an episode. This is a conversation between Dr. Reed and Derek Morgan. And just to give you a context, in this particular episode, Dr. Reed falls in love and he finally has a love life. But the girl that he was super interested in had a bad story or history with a stalker. So thus this conversation happened. Dr. Reed said 2,412. That's the number of hours we spent communicating, counting phone calls and letters. To which Derek Morgan replied, "All right, so that's about 100 days." And he asked, 100.5. What if that's all I got? Yeah, come to think of it, what if that's all we have for the hours that we have? I think one of the mistakes that I made in that I've been making in past relationships is that I am in love with love and not really the person. How alienating can that be? That's very, very alienating. Imagine you're interested in being with that person without really knowing that person. So I guess, and if ever I'll be in a relationship again, it's the one thing that I want to set right. I want to fall in love with a person. I would want to know that person inside out and take time to really getting to know the person, even if it means knowing a fact about them one day at a time. For everyone who's listening, who's in a rocky relationship, maybe it's one of the things that you can do differently. Get to know the person, get out of your head, and not be in love with love. Be in love with the person that you're with. That's the only time that you will be experiencing what real love is. It's going to be painful, but it's going to be beautiful. And I don't even know I'm saying these things. Anyway, let's go to our third quote. Let's go to the third one. I think the third one, out of all the things that I had read today, it's the most romantic one because it is meant to be romantic. So it's from my favorite book, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Let me just give credit where it's due. This book had been introduced to me by a really good friend from college. Catchy, if you're watching, this one is for you. And I've read this book again and again, and believe it or not, every time that I read this book, it proves to me that lead can be turned into gold. Every time I read this, I feel like I'm lead. I am the lead. And alchemy would do its magic on me. And after I finish the book, I would be turned into gold because I would start getting a lot of really good ideas about myself, about everything else. So this particular part is when Santiago met Fatima. At the moment, it seemed to him that time stood still and the soul of the world surged within him when he looked into her dark eyes and saw her lips poised between a laugh and silence. He learned that the most important part of the language that all the world spoke, the language that everyone on earth was capable of understanding in their hearts, it was love. Something older than humanity, more ancient than the desert, something that exerted the same force whenever two pairs of eyes met as had theirs here at the well. Take time to soak that in. It's a really, really nice part. And I think out of all the romantic scenes that had been playing in my head, I would say this is the one that I really want to experience and what I want to have. Sure, I may not be a Santiago and I will never be a Fatima. Oh, but Fatima is a really a strong woman. I have to read the book to find out. He may not be traveling with an Urim and a Thummim. He may not be friends with the Englishman or the caravan leader, or he may not be looking for the alchemist. But it's a really nice moment to share with someone. You can feel in this particular verse how romanticized. Actually, this is really, really romanticized. When Paulo could have just said that everything paused for him and that she smiled. No, he had to pick out words that would convey the feeling of being there and feeling that moment with Santiago, which is the time standing still and the soul of the world surging within you. And you could have just said that you had goosebumps. He describes how he felt, what he saw. And it wasn't just a smile, it was a laugh and a silence. But really, that's a smile, but that's how beautiful it was. That's how complex the feeling that he was having at that very moment, that it was a laugh and a silence. And at that moment, he learned that the most important part of the language that all the world spoke, which is love. If you read through the whole page, it would talk about how possible it is to fall in love at first sight, what it means, how it feels. and the hands that can't evoke love. In a way, The Alchemist is a really romantic novel. I feel like every time that I get to this part, I get reminded of how exciting falling in love must be. I can say at this very moment that I probably haven't felt that yet. Maybe it's coming soon, maybe in the future, but I never really lose hope. And there are lots of people that I know who reminds me and who are the epitome of the love that I have in my head of how it's played. That's, showing it in real life. I don't really want to talk more about that because I might end up crying. What do you have for me? What are your favorite quotes that may pertain to love that you want to share this Valentine's Day? I would want to read about them on the comment box down below. And again, if you want to share anything with me, please do write to me at linottagami@gmail.com. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. And if you feel like somebody should hear about the words that we said in this particular video, please share. If you like what we talked about, please like. And if you want to see more of me and hear more of me or join me in the conversations, please subscribe. Again, happy Valentine's Day. Stay happy. Make your hearts happy. Choose yourself. And I'll see you on the next video. This is Lee, and this is The Usual Scene.